Milton Kerpan had a passionate quest to improve member service. He was a guardian and promoter of cooperative values.
You know, Dad started probably the cooperatives at a very young age. He'd tell us stories when they'd be at the farm and his parents and his neighbors would come together and they'd sit around the kitchen table and they'd discuss how they could improve things for themselves, their neighbors, and the community. So at that time, it may not have been a formal cooperative, but it instilled the values and the importance of community and helping out.
Milt served as a member of the board of directors of Advantage Credit Union starting in 2001 and as a board chair from 2010 to 2013. After the merger of Affinity, Advantage, and Spectra Credit Unions in 2013, he became a member of the Affinity Board of Directors. As vice chair of the Affinity Governance Committee, Milt was instrumental in the restructure of Affinity's governance model. This kept the credit union firmly rooted to the needs of its members, supporting cooperative values and providing valuable feedback and oversight to the board of directors. In 2018, Milt assumed the role of chair of the Affinity Governance Committee, and he led this committee until he retired from his director role in April 2020. Milt actively participated in many significant decisions through his work on the Affinity Credit Union Board and its committees, and with Advantage Credit Union before that. Always at the basis of his decisions was the genuine desire to do what was best and right for the members. In 2013, when Advantage Credit Union was recognized with the Saskatchewan Co-operative Merit Award, Milt had this to say about basing decisions around members' best interests.
We've always sat down and said, when we go to make a decision, what is the impact on our members? How is this going to enhance member service and member experience? And that has consistently, around the board table, been the focus of our organization. We get surrounded by excellent people who the administrative staff has been outstanding in our experience, and continued growth that occurs because of putting the members first is very important.
Milt had a love of learning and education. He was an accredited Canadian Credit Union Director. He completed the Credit Union Director Achievement Program and attended the Rotman Hughes Governance Leadership Institute Director Certification Program. His passion for learning and continuous education was no doubt fueled by his background as a teacher, principal, and director of education.
Dad's involvement with the credit unions influenced him through his desire to constantly educate himself and increase his knowledge. He really took his role seriously, and he prepared for all meetings, and he enjoyed the knowledge that he gained along the way.
Milt was a very committed board member, serious and down to earth, but always with an impish smile. His depth of character and commitment to community was immediately apparent to anyone who met him.
For those that know my dad, you know, he loved meetings. He absolutely loved meetings. He loved the people at the meetings. He loved reading the material for the meetings. He loved the camaraderie that came along with it. He loved talking at the meetings. He loved the after-dinner schnapps that may have occurred at the meetings. Everything about it, he absolutely loved. He took his role very seriously, like he did with most of the roles in his life, and he got a better understanding of financial knowledge, and so much so that he chose to explain to my sister, Karen, who was a CPA and the director of a financial institution. He decided to explain to her what international financial reporting standards were. And so Karen said he did a pretty good job considering he's a non-accountant. So that's my dad, always teaching.
Milt's love of his community and the people in it was obvious by the countless hours he spent volunteering in Watson and area. He served each volunteer role with commitment, compassion, and dedication. He was a lay presider of his church and a member of the Knights of Columbus. He was married for 50 years to Liz. They had 3 children and 8 grandchildren. Later in his retirement, Milt began to garden and was immensely proud of his perennial flower bed that he designed and nurtured with care. Sadly, Milt lost his battle with cancer and passed away on December 29, 2020. Milt's lighthearted, positive, and caring attitude are missed by the many who were privileged to have crossed paths with him over the years. We are pleased to recognize Milton Kerpan's decades of contributions to credit unions with a Lifetime Cooperative Achievement Award.
Oh, he would be thrilled, but he'd also try to hide it with a very well thought out, rehearsed, and thankful speech. I know he'd acknowledge his colleagues and his mentors along the way. He was just so proud of his community of Watson, and also to be part of the cooperatives and the credit unions. He would just be so thankful for those that acknowledged him. He was never in it for the acknowledgement or anything like that. He just wanted to make things better, and this was one way that he thought he could. On behalf of my mom, my siblings, and our families, we're just so very proud to accept this award on Dad's behalf. You know, for those of you that have crossed paths with him, you know he'd have a smile on his face and a story to share. So thank you.